You are leaving 60% of your potential on the table. Think about that for a second. That burning goal you gave up on? That impossible challenge you walked away from? You felt totally drained, convinced you hit your limit. We all do. But what if that feeling of total exhaustion, that voice screaming "I quit," was a lie? What if it was just a psychological checkpoint, and the real growth started right where you chose to stop? Today we're not just reviewing a book. We're diving into the brutal, brilliant world of David Goggins' Can't Hurt Me to pull out the exact mental blueprints you need to tap into that missing 60%. This isn't about becoming an ultramarathoner. This is about building a mind that life literally can't hurt. Let's get started. Welcome to Book Summary and Reviews. We break down the world's most impactful books to help you transform into your best self. Subscribe and join our community of ambitious learners who are upgrading their lives one small step at a time. Before we get to the lessons, you have to understand the man. David Goggins wasn't born a warrior. He was born into poverty, faced severe childhood trauma, and in his early 20s he was over 300 pounds, working as a certified cockroach exterminator. No future. No hope. This is his expertise. It didn't come from a textbook. It came from the bottom of the barrel. What made him write the book? He was disgusted with the soft lies he saw people telling themselves, the excuses that kept them safe and small. He realized his life wasn't just a story of a single comeback. It was a masterclass in re-engineering the human mind. He became the only man in history to complete elite training as a Navy SEAL, Army Ranger, and Air Force Tactical Air Controller. He's set records in over 60 endurance events, including the infamous Badwater Ultra. Why is he an expert? Because he didn't just talk about mental toughness. He lived it repeatedly until his mind became what he calls calloused. This brings us to his first and most important lesson, a principle that forms the foundation of all mental toughness: brutal self-accountability. Goggins' story has a core secret weapon: the accountability mirror. When he was at his lowest, overweight and lost, he didn't start with a workout plan. He started with the truth. He stood in front of his mirror and covered it in sticky notes, each one detailing an ugly truth. You are failing calculus. You are obese. You are making excuses for your terrible job. He didn't use the mirror to feel good. He used it to feel bad. To burn the lies away with brutal honesty. You cannot fix what you refuse to name. He was forced to look past his comfort and into the raw facts of his life. This principle is the antidote to the widespread softness of modern life. We hide from our shortcomings. We blame the job, the economy, the lack of time. Goggins says, stop it. You don't need a physical mirror, you need a daily log. At the end of every day, open a blank note on your phone and write down the single hardest thing you should have done but chose to avoid. The uncomfortable email. The 20 minutes of studying. The tough conversation. Do this for a week. The goal isn't to do them, it's to force yourself to see the avoidance. That awareness is your first step to mental toughness. Accountability mirror gets you started. But to master mental toughness, you have to break through your psychological emergency brake. This is the 40% rule. The rule states, when your mind tells you that you are completely done, physically, mentally, emotionally, you have in reality only tapped into 40% of your actual capacity. Goggins proved this in every grueling test, but his most famous is when he ran a 100-mile ultramarathon with zero training. His body broke down, his kidneys failed, he was pissing blood, but he kept moving. He used his mind to control the pain. He refused to let the 40% threshold become his finish line. We don't need much to apply this. The 40% rule applies to your mind every day. When you hit a mental wall in a work project, when you feel the urge to procrastinate, that's your 40% mark. Your brain is trying to conserve energy. When your mind screams stop, you will do 5 more minutes of work, 5 more reps, write 5 more sentences, or stay silent for 5 more seconds in an uncomfortable conversation. You don't commit to finishing. You just commit to those 5 increments. By the time you hit 5, you've already broken the psychological seal and built a callous mind, one small win at a time. These 2 principles, brutal honesty and pushing past the quit button, are the bricks. The final element is the mortar that holds them all together. The cookie jar. Goggins' life was a nightmare, but he learned to store every past victory, no matter how small, in a mental cookie jar. When he was freezing or hallucinating on a race, He didn't think about quitting. He reached into the jar. He pulled out the memory of overcoming his learning disability or losing the first 100 pounds. These weren't fleeting memories, they were proof. The power of the cookie jar is this: motivation is temporary. It's a rush of emotion that fades. But the cookie jar holds proof that you are capable of the impossible. And proof never fades. Now you have the blueprint. You know the problem, you're quitting at 40%. You know the steps. 1. Face the accountability mirror to see the truth. 2. Apply the 5 more rule to push past the wall. 3. Fill the cookie jar with proof of your own power. Mental toughness isn't a gift. It's a skill. And like any skill, it must be developed through repetitive, uncomfortable work. The war is in your mind. Go win it. Stay hard. If this video hit you, don't just click away. Start your 7-day accountability log today. Then let me know in the comments. What's the one hard thing you're committing to doing 5 more of this week? Share this video with someone you think it might be helpful. Subscribe and stay connected.